The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
But underneath the glittering tiaras and the stiff hairspray, there was, a total war zone brewing.
Welcome to StarScope Report. I am Jordan.
And I am Jamie. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today, we are jumping into a deep dive based on a headline that has been completely consuming us.
Exactly, what they hid from us in Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Right, because if you have ever watched a movie that felt a little too weird or cynical for mainstream Hollywood, you are going to find this fascinating.
Oh, absolutely. We have pulled together this massive stack of sources for you. We are looking at behind-the-scenes cast interviews, some seriously dark Reddit fan theories, obscure trivia databases, and even academic journals on trademark law.
Which sounds like a crazy mix, I know. But our mission for this deep dive is to explore exactly what the studio and the legal system tried to bury.
We are peeling back the curtain on the hidden legal nightmares, the severe on-set hostility, and a totally suppressed original ending.
It really proves that this movie is a subversive masterpiece. It is a masterclass in how true transgressive art survives corporate meddling.
So let us kick things off with a bold headline. The studio basically sabotaged their own movie right out of the gate by pretending it was something else entirely.
Yeah, we are talking about New Line Cinema here. They were terrified of the dark tone, so they aggressively marketed Drop Dead Gorgeous as a standard, bubbly 90s teen comedy.
They cut the trailers to look like this lighthearted romp, and because of that massive bait and switch, the film completely bombed. I mean, it grossed a measly $10.5 million worldwide.
Which is nothing for a studio release.
Exactly. And mainstream critics completely rejected it. Janet Maslin of the New York Times actually wrote this scathing review, claiming it would send viewers reaching for the rewind button just to make it stop.
Wow. But, to understand why the studio panicked, you have to look at the landscape of 1999. Studios are super risk-averse.
Right.
And at that time, the lucrative formula for teens was stuff like, She's All That, 10 Things I Hate About You, and Never Been Kissed.
Oh, the golden era of the aspirational teen movie.
Exactly. Brightly lit, redemptive, happy endings. But when executives looked at the early tracking numbers for Drop Dead Gorgeous, the data was just alarmingly low.
Because it wasn't a standard teen movie.
Right. So they demanded these drastic edits to lighten the tone. They basically pushed the director to somehow inject the glossy, glamorous vibe of Clueless into the final cut.
Wait, Clueless? That makes zero sense.
I know.
It is like taking a gritty, cynical true crime documentary and slapping a sitcom laugh track over it to make it more appealing.
That is the perfect analogy.
Because Clueless is a Beverly Hills fantasy about a girl with a heart of gold. But Drop Dead Gorgeous is this biting mockumentary about desperate people in a podunk Minnesota town where teenagers are literally being murdered for a cheap plastic crown.
Yeah. Forcing one to be the other was guaranteed to alienate everyone. But, ironically, by failing to make it a mainstream hit, they accidentally created this perfect time capsule for the counterculture.
Yeah, it operates perfectly as an anti-teen movie for the freaks and weirdos.
And, despite the dark tone, it is actually incredibly progressive. It passes the Bechdel test effortlessly.
Oh, with flying colors. The whole narrative is entirely driven by this female ensemble. The girls actually band together to survive the adults.
But the studio really went to war against that darkness. And that brings us to one of the most shocking details we uncovered.
Oh, the original ending.
Yes. They completely suppressed the original ending because test audiences reacted to it with a collective, audible groan.
The ending we got in the final cut is already pretty bleak, but what did they originally shoot?
Well, Gladys Lehman, the unhinged pageant organizer played by Kirstie Alley, she was originally supposed to commit suicide in prison.
Wait, really? That is so dark.
Literally. The camera was supposed to slowly pan down to show her feet swinging above a still-lit cigarette on the floor.
That is an insanely heavy punctuation mark for a comedy.
And it gets crazier. In the final film, Gladys is revealed as the sniper killing the contestants. But originally, the killer was a character named Iona Hildebrandt.
Who was she?
She was this former World War II-era pageant queen who just psychologically snapped. Her motive was that she harbored decades of resentment because she had to give up her tiara to be melted down for scrap metal during the war.
Oh, wow. So it was this whole commentary on generational trauma.
Exactly. And when test audiences, who thought they were getting the next Clueless, were hit with a suicide and WWII trauma, they hated it. It was just a bridge too far.
And that is not even the wildest part. Later in the episode, we will talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming regarding the fan theories. But first, we have to talk about how this studio panic bled right onto the actual set.
Oh, the on-set hostility was severe. You have Michael Patrick Yon, a first-time director, trying to establish authority. And then you have the writer, Lona Williams.
Who, by the way, was a real-life former pageant queen from Minnesota.
Right, so this script was basically her dark, satirical autobiography. It was deeply personal to her.
But the breakdown between the creators was so intense that Lona Williams actually refused to watch the movie for 15 years after it came out.
Yeah, she said she would literally go to her car and cry after shooting Wrapped for the day.
That is heartbreaking. And the director later admitted he was a perfectionist and probably could have been nicer.
But the drama wasn't just between the writer and director. There was a massive power struggle with the star, Kirstie Alley.
Right. According to the behind-the-scenes interviews, Lona Williams felt Alley was acting like a total diva. She even claimed Alley didn't really read the script.
And the animosity reached a boiling point over costumes. Kirstie Alley famously refused to attend wardrobe fittings on set.
Wait, how do you do wardrobe then?
She used her star power to force the production to pack up all her clothes and ship them to the Scientology Celebrity Center in Hollywood.
You are kidding.
No, just so she could try them on in an environment she controlled.
That is wild.
Yeah.
When you have a writer fiercely protecting her life story, a rookie director, and a lead actor making those kinds of logistical demands, it just breeds total discomfort.
And that discomfort totally trickled down to the extras. We have to talk about the Denise Richards talent show scene.
Oh my goodness, yes. She plays Becky Lehman, and for her talent, she performs this tone-deaf dance to a Frankie Valli hit while rolling around with a life-size Jesus doll on a crucifix.
It is easily one of the most bizarre and hilarious pieces of satire from the 90s.
But here's what they hid from the extras. The background actors sitting in the bleachers hadn't read the script.
They were just unsuspecting locals.
Exactly. And Denise Richards made this brilliant choice to play the scene with absolute sincerity rather than mocking it, like she genuinely believed it was a beautiful tribute.
Which is why the satire works so well.
Right. But because she played it so terrifyingly straight, the locals were genuinely disturbed. Halfway through the performance, half of the extras were so offended they literally stood up, walked off the set, and went home.
They just walked out. I mean, I have to ask you, Jordan, do you think that genuine, palpable friction on set is exactly what made the movie so sharp?
Oh, 100%. It is like they were accidentally filming a real mockumentary about themselves.
Yeah.
That toxic, passive-aggressive energy just seeped right into the celluloid.
Art imitating production, for sure.
If you are loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you are subscribed. We have got even crazier stories ahead, because the drama wasn't just interpersonal. It spilled over into a massive, real-world legal battle.
Yes, the trademark nightmare. This is where those academic journals come in. The movie wasn't originally called Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Right. It was supposed to be called Dairy Queens.
Which is the perfect title for a small-town Minnesota pageant movie. But the fast food chain Dairy Queen immediately hit New Line Cinema with a cease and desist.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't the First Amendment usually protect movie titles?
Usually, yes. The academic sources highlight this landmark precedent involving the Italian director Federico Fellini. He made a movie called Ginger and Fred, and Ginger Rogers sued him.
And she lost, right?
She did, and it established the Rogers test. Basically, if a title has artistic relevance to the work, it is protected as artistic expression. But if it is just a trick to sell tickets, it is considered commercial speech and loses protection.
I have to push back on how courts apply that, though. Because wait, if an elite director like Fellini uses a trademark, it is high art.
Right.
But when a small-town teen comedy does it to critique American consumerism, courts suddenly call it commercial speech. That feels inherently biased against comedy.
It is a massive double standard. Scholars still debate it. But because the studio was marketing it as a fluffy teen movie, lawyers knew a judge would likely view Dairy Queens as just a commercial vehicle to sell tickets.
But the studio just caved.
They caved and changed it to Drop Dead Gorgeous.
But the legal nightmares didn't stop in 1999. If you look at physical media collectors on Reddit today, they are begging for a boutique Blu-ray release from companies like Criterion.
And it is completely hidden from them because of tangled music rights.
How does that even happen?
Well, back in '99, studios got synchronization licenses for music that only covered theatrical releases and maybe VHS. They didn't foresee DVDs or streaming.
So the contracts just expired.
Exactly. Or they were super format specific. So now if a label wants to print a Blu-ray, they have to renegotiate with original rights holders who demand exorbitant modern fees.
And if they can't afford it, the movie just stays in legal limbo. It is currently on some ad-supported platforms like Tubi, but no premium physical release.
It is so frustrating. But hold on, because the story takes an even darker turn when you look at what fans are uncovering today.
Oh, the fan theories. While the lawyers were fighting, the fans who found this on VHS were practically treating it like a true crime scene.
Because it is a mockumentary, it naturally invites you to look closely at the background. And the biggest theory on Reddit is called the subtle train wreck theory.
Okay, break this down for us.
The theory asks, did Amber, the sweet tap-dancing underdog played by Kirsten Dunst, actually orchestrate all the murders?
See, I remember reading this, and it really makes you watch the movie differently.
Fans point to her undeniable winning streak. Everyone in her way conveniently dies, but it is her reactions that are wild.
Right, like after the trailer explosion.
She fakes crying until her coronation is secure, and then literally seconds later, someone offers her a root beer float, and she happily takes it.
She just drops the grief instantly.
They argue she only ever gets shaken up when her own spot at state is threatened.
As fun as that is, I have to completely reject the Amber theory.
Really? Why?
Because making her a criminal mastermind ruins the whole thematic point of the movie. She is supposed to be the only pure-hearted underdog in a town of corrupt narcissists.
That is true.
She only wins because everyone else self-destructs through their own greed. If she is the killer, it is just a standard villain story.
Fair point. It does ruin the social satire. But okay, even if Amber is innocent, what about the theory that Hank is a serial killer?
Oh, the town idiot, played by Will Sasso. This one actually holds up.
The background details are so disturbing. Fans notice the script casually drops that his mother is buried in the backyard by a tree.
Which is never investigated.
Nope. Then we learn his babysitter is dead. His brother mysteriously dies from a, quote, deer tick bite.
And somebody casually mentions he was recently acquitted of unknown charges.
Exactly.
It rewards re-watching so much, because once you see it, you realize the entire town is complicit in covering up violence to protect their public image.
Like the corrupt local police.
Yes. When a girl is murdered by an exploding tractor thresher, the cops instantly cover it up by saying she was smoking and driving, which makes zero physical sense.
And when Amber's trailer explodes, they just shrug and call it faulty wiring.
Yeah.
No investigation at all.
The town just accepts the darkness. Like John Doe, the pharmacist who's always filming the teenage girls.
Ugh, yes. His excuse is that he keeps the creepy video camera for car accident insurance.
It is so predatory, but the town just looks the other way.
And we cannot talk about hidden brilliance without mentioning the state pageant food poisoning scene.
Oh, absolute cinematic perfection.
Well, the girls who eat the shellfish get violently ill, and the director scores this scene of horrific gastric devastation to also Sprach Zarathustra.
The epic theme from 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Yes. Blending that highbrow classical music with lowbrow bodily humor is what makes this a transgressive masterpiece.
So bringing it all together, we have a movie that started as a misunderstood box office bomb, hated by critics.
But it transformed into this fiercely beloved cult classic.
Because it refused to compromise. Beneath the tiaras, there is a history of brutal studio notes, landmark trademark disputes, and deeply dark writing.
It is a reminder that true comedic genius usually makes a few people angry. I mean, if your art doesn't make extras walk off a set in disgust, you aren't pushing hard enough.
Exactly. The best art requires looking past the marketing. But I want to leave you with the final lingering thought today.
Let's hear it.
Back in '99, the studio panicked over tracking data and almost edited this movie into oblivion. Today, the entire entertainment industry is ruled by algorithmic data and risk-averse streaming metrics.
Way more than in the 90s.
Right. So if a movie this weird and abrasive barely survived the studio system 25 years ago, is it even possible for a corporation to accidentally greenlight a masterpiece like this today? Or have we optimized the industry so much that messy art never even gets made?
That is a scary thought. The algorithm would probably crush Drop Dead Gorgeous today.
It really makes you wonder what else is being quietly erased. Keep an eye on the spotlight, because the most interesting stories are usually the ones they try to edit out.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.